Hey everybody, it's Bruno and welcome to MB. Click on the subscribe button below here and you'll never miss an episode. And also you can follow us on LinkedIn and on Facebook on Megapix Media. Enjoy the episode.
What's up, you sucker? What's up, you sucker? What you looking at?
An interesting statistic, and even though Alberta's kind of on shaky grounds a little bit now, but I'm pretty confident we're going to pull out of this, people like you behind the wheel, is it was the least amount of alumni would leave the city from the University of Calgary. They would stay in Calgary. And it was amazing on how many presidents and vice presidents and business leaders were in Calgary. And you look back, you do the math, a lot of them were for that area, the 4 or 5 year area.
Well, and I mean, these guys were basically, ironically, we were in school when our illustrious Prime Minister's dad was crushing us, similar to what he's doing now. Actually, I think his dad was actually intelligent. But and you know, and so that was a good time to be in school. And roughly around the time that a lot of the guys were coming out in the late 80s, or, you know, and early 90s, that's when the economy in Alberta started to change, and a lot of our guys got into, you know, like the fire department, they got into the oil industry, they got into legal industries, what have you, and then just got in when in the late 80s when times were still kind of rough, and then in the early 90s when they picked up, these guys had already worked their way up the ladder, and there was a great run there up until you know, a little while ago. So
yeah.
But you know what? I think football teaches you, or sport in general, is you never give up, right? Suck it up in the fourth quarter. That's what Calgarians do. We're resilient. People reinvent themselves. If they get laid off, you know what? The first time people got laid off in the oil industry back in the early 80s, a lot of people became entrepreneurs. They went and lived out dreams of you know, starting businesses with hobbies that they loved, and so they reinvented themselves. Calgarians never give up, and Albertans for that matter, they'll keep reinventing themselves. And
Just recently, Tony was honored by being at the Grey Cup here in Calgary. Congratulations to the Bombers winning that, but honored about being the alumni of the year from the CFL, and I was really honored that you had me over there. I thought you lost all your friends in a poker game, but you know, what does that really mean to you?
Well, it was an incredible honor because it comes from your kind of like your peer group, and we have such unbelievable guys in this city that, like I talked about, that are CFL football players are very how do you say it, reachable. They're in the community, they're accessible, they're you know, players and alumni are doing like charity golf tournaments, charity events, they're playing high school basketball games, they're raising money, they're coaching. There's so many guys in the city that put back. So when those guys were kind enough to kind of say, hey man, you be the guy to represent us, I was really humbled and really floored by that, because there's just an amazing group of guys here in this city.
And if you guys haven't, you know, about 18 minutes to watch something on YouTube, I kind of illegally posted Tony's speech, and I gotta tell you, within like a couple hours, it just blew up.
Oh, you're too kind.
It was no, it was an absolute. Forget about being kind. It was just like one of the funniest speeches we've ever heard. And you know, you'd mentioned a lot of people that helped you along the way, but the one that you really brought up was your family, like your wife, your kids, your mom and dad, your sister, who you lost as your slave when you got married to Frank. That was part of the speech. How did she take that?
She actually laughed because it was true, right? But now day and age, I hope people took that as humor, because you got to be your sister. I'm not worried about her. I'm just worried about the 100 women that picketed our deli the next Monday, Bruno. Thanks. But you know what? I grew up in a home where, and you're the same, our culture is about giving, the Italian culture, and I think most cultures are about giving, and immigrants especially helping each other. So our home was always open, and not just our home, but my aunts and everyone in the community that we lived in at that time, Bridgeland, where there was a large Italian population, large Ukrainian population, there was Croatians. It was amazing. It was a melting pot, and these immigrants helped each other. They helped feed each other. They helped provide you know, a home for someone if they needed lodgings when they first came here. So when you grow up seeing all this kindness and all this support, you can't help but pass that forward. And I got that from my parents, from my aunts and uncles, and just from the people in the community. I was blessed to be surrounded by such wonderful people, Bruno.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you want someone you know to be our next guest, simple. Click below in the description and we'll get in touch with them. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and you'll never ever miss another episode.